I think the way that I play Arc Raiders is pretty interesting, so I wanted to talk about it. Playing shooters on a controller kinda sucks. You need to rely on aim assist, it isn't as fast as a keyboard and mouse, and the only thing going for it is that it's comfortable. And that is especially true in a game like Arc Raiders, where most enemies have different weak spots that would be harder to hit if the aim assist didn't laser focus on their weak spots. But I have a solution for that I've been using for the past 3 years. This is gyro aiming, and this is FlickStick. These features allow me to achieve mouse-like precision on a controller by letting me aim by twisting just a little bit of my wrists and flicking to the exact direction that I pointed with the right analog stick. With it, I can more easily track targets, control my recoil, or just look around faster, without relying on aim assist. I'm sorry for bragging, but my extensive knowledge about this subject allowed me to be a consultant on Deadlock a while back, and the current official controller layout for the game is heavily based on mine. That and the fact that the new Steam controller has a huge focus on gyro aiming as well. So everything that I will talk about in this video will apply to the new Steam controller, as well as every other controller with gyro sensors. Though this feature is really popular among Steam Deck and Nintendo players, I will assume that most of you have never even tried this thing before. So how do I actually use this thing? Am I supposed to use gyro like to do all the aiming? Although that is certainly possible, you will mainly use gyro alongside the right stick. You use the right stick to look around and get close to your target, then gyro to do all the aiming, tracking, target switching, recoil control, and all that good stuff. You don't need to move the controller side to side or hold it up in the air. You just need to twist your wrists a little bit. It's that simple. But don't worry, later I will give you some tips on how to get used to it. You see, I'm literally just emulating a mouse, but a lot of games do not allow for gamepad and mouse inputs at the same time. And Arc Raiders is one of those games, unfortunately. So I had to spend hours changing every button on the controller to emulate a key on the keyboard while replicating the official controller layout. As if that wasn't enough, this game has negative acceleration and you can't turn it off, not even the config files of this game, which made my job of calibrating gyro and FlickStick that much harder. But after many hours of testing and tweaking, I think it's done. I've created a gyro configuration for Arc Raiders that will work on every controller, including the Steam Deck and the new Steam controller. So, I wanted to talk about how it works, and if you find this thing interesting, how you can play like this too. Like I said earlier, you are supposed to use gyro alongside the right stick, so I've made 2 configurations. First, I've made a gyro plus joystick configuration. On this one, the right stick works just like a traditional stick. And then I made a FlickStick version, where the right stick will snap to the angle that you pointed. I wanted to make a third one, ADS gyro configuration, that would be perfect for beginners who want to have gyro enabled only while pressing the aim button. But that one, it's going to be very different from the previous 2, so I didn't have time to finish that yet. Usually I try not to change the official default layout of the game that I'm configuring, but this time I had to make some adjustments. First, I added a gyro disable button. If you hold R3, gyro will pause. This is useful because after controlling your recoil, for example, you will eventually hold the controller in an uncomfortable position, kind of like it would be kind of like downwards like this. So you need to hold R3 and reposition the controller. On the Steam Deck and on the new Steam controller, you could use the capacitive sticks or the new grip sense to enable and disable gyro, but that will come down to your preference. Next, I made sure that gyro wouldn't interfere with menus and wheels. The way that I did that was by changing to the gamepad mode once the mouse cursor appears on the screen. Because the game thinks we are using a mouse, once we open any kind of menu, the mouse cursor appears, and the gamepad mode is activated. The only problem is that using the left analog stick is what activates gyro again. And to move around the map, you need to use the left analog stick. And you see what started to happen here. I mean, I can use gyro to look around and navigate through the map which also gives me the advantage of also being able to walk. I don't know if you can see my character here. So I simply haven't found a good reliable solution to this problem. What I come up with was simply to add a button to toggle a map mode on the controller. If you hold the inventory button, the map mode will be enabled automatically. But if you go from the inventory to your map, you need to press the mute button or the left trackpad or the share button on the Nintendo Switch Pro controller to enable the map mode. Leaving the map by pressing circle or B will activate gyro again. And lastly, I have died once because my character tried opening a door instead of reloading my weapon. There's an option in game to choose the priority of the square or the X button, but while emulating a keyboard and mouse, that effect is a bit more complicated to achieve. So to interact, you need to hold square, and to reload your weapon, you need to just tap square once. We are not done yet. If you want to play like this, simply click on the controller icon next to the game, then click on the name of the layout, go to the Community Layouts tab, and press the Show All Layouts button. Then search for my configurations. They all have my signature in it, so they might not be like close together. So the name of my two configurations are Arc Raiders FlickStick by FlickStick Videos version 1.3 and Arc Raiders Gyro plus Joystick by FlickStick Videos version 1.3. And eventually, hopefully, there will be a version called Arc Raiders ADS Gyro by FlickStick Videos version 1.3. Just make sure to follow the instructions in the description of the configuration. Those being setting the mouse and keyboard sensitivity to 50, leaving the FOV at 70%, binding Shift to sprint toggle, and binding V to walk hold. Speaking of descriptions, in the description of this video, you will find a link to my configuration collection, where you can find dozens of configurations with the same level of quality as this one. It's a good catalog to have if you own a Steam Deck, or if you intend to buy the new Steam controller. Or, if you just own any controller that isn't an Xbox controller. And thanks to my Patreons, the collection is able to grow every week because of them. So consider helping me on Patreon. But what if you're having trouble getting used to this? Funny enough, tips for beginners also apply for more advanced players. So if you are already a fan of gyro, this part is for you. I believe there are two main pain points for beginners. The first one being to just remember that gyro actually exists instead of relying on the right stick. To help you with that, you will press the home button on your controller or shift tab on your PC. Then you go to controller settings, you will click on edit layout, and on the joystick tab, you will click on the gear icon on the right joystick. Then you will decrease the vertical scale to 0. That will completely disable vertical movement for your right stick. We are doing this to obligate you to use gyro to look around, to rely more on it while still having the advantages of having a traditional analog stick. The second pain point is that button presses may move your aim. Because gyro aiming is so precise, this is bound to happen. To mitigate this as much as possible, we will do two things. First, you will hold your device with the palm of your hands. I know people that hold their controllers with the tip of their fingers, so just don't do that. Secondly, decrease the vertical gyro sensitivity. Again, press the home button, go to controller settings, edit layout, and on the gyro tab, click on the gear icon. Here you have this slider called vertical/horizontal output mixer. Just turn down this slider, and now pressing buttons will barely move the camera. Just make sure to have enough sensitivity to look all the way up and all the way down. Like, I can already feel that this is a bit too much. 25%? That's much better. I've been using this configuration for a while, and although I'm not the best player in the world, I'm having a lot of fun. Besides, I can do all of that on my couch, which is pretty cool. I recommend trying all of this on the practice range first, like get used to shooting and shoulder swapping, try track distant targets, and so on. And if you want to learn more about gyro aiming and cool games that you can play with it, check this video right here. Shout out to my Patreons, Christopher Fox, Thana Oath, Easy, Ars Poetic, and Oryx Gazella. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching!